In a world that sometimes moved too fast, Mike, a lively 30-year-old, was known for his steady nature. He had an upbeat personality and was regarded as a picture of health, but lately something seemed off. Mike was dealing with an unusual issue. He was battling to breathe properly. This unexpected health struggle seemed out of place for a young man in his prime, especially since Mike had never been close to a pack of cigarettes in his life. The confusing puzzle of his symptoms drove him to schedule an appointment with his trusted physician, Dr. Spetzel. Securing the appointment for the same week brought a wave of relief washing over Mike. It felt like he was no longer alone in his struggle. He was reaching out, acknowledging the issue, and that in itself seemed to alleviate some of his concerns. However, that was just the first step of many on the journey that lay ahead. The day of the appointment dawned clear and bright. He had been to the doctor's office several times before and was familiar with the invariably long waiting times. This knowledge prompted Mike to carry a gripping detective novel with him to keep boredom at bay. However, he soon found that his shortness of breath hindered his ability to focus on the captivating storyline that normally would have him hooked. He was about 20 minutes into his wait when an intense headache took hold, making him wince. It wasn't the first time he had experienced this sort of discomfort. Mike, being a man who believed in staying prepared, always kept an emergency stash of over-the-counter pain relievers in his car. Fetching the medicine, he quickly swallowed the pills and waited for them to take effect. As the throbbing pain in his temples slowly began to subside, Mike let out a sigh of relief. A half-hearted smile tugged at the corners of his mouth as he mused about how simple it would be if his breathing issue could be resolved as quickly. His name was called, and the nurse led him into room 107. Her friendly demeanor brought a sense of familiarity and comfort to the otherwise clinical environment. She started by asking Mike about his current state of health and symptoms. Next, she conducted a routine examination, noting down his blood pressure, height, and weight. The nurse also asked Mike about his family's medical history, and he was grateful that he had nothing significant to report on this front. There were no hereditary health issues such as heart disease, cancer, diabetes, or arthritis in his family history. The nurse's thorough questioning extended to his current medication regime. Mike affirmed that he was not on any medication. After all the necessary information was recorded, the nurse left the room, promising that the doctor would see him shortly. A few minutes later, Dr. Spetzel walked in, radiating warmth and compassion. Mike had always appreciated the doctor's genuine concern for his patients. After exchanging pleasantries, they got down to discussing Mike's current health concern. Mike described his breathing problem to Dr. Spetzel. He detailed the discomfort in his chest that seemed to linger throughout the day, the sporadic cough that had recently surfaced, and most importantly, the struggle for breath that was steadily worsening. However, he reassured the doctor that there were no instances of heart palpitations or wheezing. Dr. Spetzel listened carefully, his years of experience reflecting in his attentive demeanor. He then proceeded with a physical examination, placing his stethoscope on various parts of Mike's chest and asking him to take deep breaths. After what seemed like an eternity to Mike, Dr. Spetzel nodded, indicating that he had a probable diagnosis. In the silence of the examination room, Dr. Spetzel finally broke the news. Mike had asthma. It was something that not just children but adults too could develop, he explained. The revelation left Mike silent, grappling with the news. The doctor was quick to reassure him, though, explaining that it was a condition that could be well managed with the right medication. Dr. Spetzel prescribed an inhaler that would help alleviate Mike's symptoms instantly. However, the doctor was clear in explaining that this wasn't a one-time cure. This inhaler would be a lifelong companion for Mike, a constant aid to keep his breathing problems in check. While the news of having a chronic condition like asthma didn't exactly thrill Mike, he was somewhat relieved to know that it wasn't something far more sinister. With his freshly scribbled prescription in hand, Mike thanked Dr. Spetzel and stepped out of the sterile environment of the clinic into the welcoming warmth of the afternoon sun. The next stop was the pharmacy, located a short 10-minute drive from the clinic, right in the heart of his small city. As he waited for his prescription to be filled, Mike let his eyes wander around the rows of neatly stocked shelves in the pharmacy. He noticed various medications, each promising relief from different ailments, colds, allergies, digestive issues. Some even claimed to aid weight loss, a claim that Mike found hard to believe. Finally, his name was called out, signaling that his inhaler was ready. He thanked the pharmacist and left, eager to experience the relief that Dr. Spetzel had promised. As soon as he settled into the driver's seat of his car, he unwrapped the inhaler, took a deep breath, and took his first dose. Almost instantly, he felt a significant difference. His airways felt more open, and the chest discomfort that had been his constant companion for the past few days seemed to have abated. He let out a long sigh of relief, and a wide smile spread across his face. The efficacy of the inhaler left him amazed at the miracles of science and modern medicine. His recent health scare had driven home a crucial realization: the value of good health. He understood now, more than ever, that without good health, life's quality would indeed take a nosedive. Inspired by this newfound perspective, he decided to make some changes in his life. He knew he had a long way to go and a lot of work to do, but he felt ready to face the challenge. His first course of action, a review and revamp of his diet, and with this resolve, Mike began his journey towards a healthier lifestyle, one breath at a time.